to do anything about this. Bakit? Ang mga nakaraan ba na Pangulo, may nakita ba kayong ginawang ganon? Meron ba silang kinulong? Meron ba silang finish na account? Meron ba silang
Meron.
investigation na ginawa? Wala.
Meron.
Sa akin lang. Tapos sasabihin, ako daw ang may kagagawan. Eh kung talagang racket ko yun, ba't ko sisirain yung racket ko?
Kasi nabisto ka. Yun ang dahilan. Nako, inulan ho ng batikos itong si Marcos Jr. sa mundo ng social media ngayong mga panahon na to. Paano ba naman kasi? Pati ho yung accomplishment nitong si Alex Yala na kung saan wala ni katiting na partisipasyon ng ating gobyerno, eh gusto ho atang nakawin itong si Marcos Jr. Ako ng Petrang Garapata. Yan ang nga po sinasabi ko. Comment ho natin sa baba ha. Congratulations Alex Yala. Palakpakan ho natin ang ating kababayan. Hindi yung parang, gaganon-ganon ka pa para namang meron kang ano dyan. Meron kang partisipasyon, meron kang contribution. Sa sobrang magnanakaw nitong mama na to, lahat na lang gusto nakawin. Eto, pakinggan ho natin to. By the way, talaga ho atang tutuluyan na ho ng ombudsman itong si Senator Dante Marcoleta. Ang nakakalungkot ho dito, baka bago mag-umpisa ang impeachment laban dito kay VP Sara ay talagang tatrabahuin ho itong si Senator Dante Marcoleta kasi isa ho yan sa nakikita nilang magiging tinik ng prosecution dyan sa Senado pag nagkataon dahil matinik ho yan si Senator Dante Marcoleta. Kung nasa House of Representative lang ho ito at membro siya ng Injustice Committee ni Jim Cruistro, baka doon pa lang ho tapos na itong impeachment ito. Pero dahil nga nasa ilalim ho ng diktatura ang House of Representatives ng 19th Congress at base sa ating nakikita ngayong 20th Congress ganun din ho ang suma kaya nagdire-diretso yung impeachment na yan. Ngayon gusto pang tanggalin yung isang mama na alam natin na magtatanong dito sa impeachment na to na kung saan yung mga tanong para sa interest talaga ng sambayan ng Pilipino. Gusto pa ho nilang dispatchin. Kaya yan hong nakakalungkot dito. Isang like at isang subscribe. Masaya na ho tayo dyan sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community. Yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. Re-recta na ho kagad tayo dito kay Bangag.
Thank you. Before I make my statement on the trip, napanood nyo ba si Alex Ella kanina?
Yes sir. Akala mo naman meron contribution ng ating pamahalaan doon. Maliban doon sa pagiging Pilipino ni Alex Yala, anak ng Tokwa, baka pagka tinanong pa siya kung anong nationality niya, yung adik yung presidente nyo. Ang bihira. Kapal talaga ng mukha nito presidente na to. Dapat sabihin mo na congratulations Alex Yala. Hindi tipong parang naman.
She really is she's becoming a true inspiration, especially for younger people, younger Filipinos. At biluin mo, meron na tayong player, babae pa, na nanalo ng third round sa Wimbledon. Tennis does not operate at a higher level than Wimbledon. So she's really world-class na talaga. She's terrific. If you remember, when she first started winning, sabi ko nag-umpisa pa lang. She's just getting started. Well, you can see. Turns out,
Prediction ng Bangag, akala mo talaga naiintindihan yung naiintindihan yung tennis tayo ayaw natin magbida-bida dyan kasi hindi naman talaga natin naiintindihan. Nanalo siya. Pero yung style ng pagpalo niya, singhot ka na lang, Brad. Pagbihira ka
that's
na.
right. She's just getting started. Marami pang ibubugay yung bata natin.
Kung marami pa siyang ibubugay marami ka pa sisinghutin.
Yes, really, it's good news. I caught the last set kanina umaga.
I caught the last set. Yun lang ang pinanood mo kasi panalo, nabalitaan mo.
And it was a great result. Great result. Congratulations, Alex. Keep it up. We'll all be here. The whole Filipino nation is cheering you on. At we know that you are
Toxic Filipino mentality. Yan, Marcos Jr. style.
fighting or making proud and bringing luster and honor to the Philippines. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We are behind you. All right. Let me first read my post-visit statement on this official visit that we have just completed here in Canada. So, to our friends in the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am pleased to report on the productive meetings that we have had with Canada's top government officials and key economic players during our stay here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Ushering in a new chapter in our ties with Canada, Prime Minister Carney and I announced the elevation of Philippine-Canada relations to a strategic partnership. This move, while reflective of the deep and strong bilateral relations that we have developed with Canada, also catalyzes our next steps towards the new phase of our relations in ensuring the sustained and dynamic growth of our bilateral ties. Mahaba na ang pagkakaibigan ng ating mga bansa at halos 1 milyong Pilipino na ang naninirahan dito sa Canada. Ngunit sa biyaheng ito at
Meron pa ho atang nakasabit sa kanyang alangala kaya ganon siya ng ganon, no? Pambihira talaga. Pagka mag-ano ka na, may harap ka na sa media, huwag ka na munang sumihot. Bihira ka naman.
ating minarapat na paigtingin at isulong ang mga importanteng kaganapan sa ating pakikipag-ugnayan sa Canada sa larangan ng
Baka tumulo yung tubig sa ilong niya kaya kailangan continuous yung pagsingkot niya.
seguridad, kalakalan at komersyo at iba pa. I have tasked the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Maria Teresa Lazaro, to work together with Canadian Foreign Minister Anita Anand to create a plan of action focusing on joint initiatives that will help both our countries adapt to shifting global realities, address shared challenges, and build capacities for future-ready partnerships. This takes into account current global and regional developments, including rapid changes in technology, as well as social and environmental challenges that bring together uncertainty and volatility. And that seems that will have an impact on the future of our two nations. Prime Minister Carney and I agreed on the strategic importance of the Indo-Pacific and the need for Canada's sustained engagement with the region. In support of Philippine interests and in line with our strategic location in the Indo-Pacific, we agreed to build
Yan ang problema, English ka ng English, ang nakakaintindi lang sa iyo, yung mga oligarko mong kaibigan. Magtagalog ka kasi, buwisit na to.
on our shared regional priorities.
Kahit ako, hirap ako umintindi sa buwisiting na English na yan eh. Ganda-ganda ng salita natin, English ka ng English. Punta ka sa Amerika, pagkatapos ng termino, parekulong ka doon, manya ka.
As we move forward.
English ng English.
I spoke about the three main pillars of the Philippines' chairship of ASEAN this year: building prosperity corridors, strengthening peoples, and strengthening peace and security anchors, as well as our unified response to ensure energy and food security and the protection of our nationals in light of geopolitical changes. I reaffirmed the Philippines' commitment to work with Canada and ASEAN in concluding the negotiations for the regional ASEAN-Canada Free Trade Agreement this year. I also thank Prime Minister Carney for Canada's vocal and consistent support in upholding the rule of law in the South China Sea, particularly on the basis of UNCLOS.
Rule of law ka ng rule of law, pagkaharap mo nyo ng China, taklop ka naman. Sabagay, isa yan sa mga ano nila, sa mga ika nga exit plan nila dyan sa dyan sa napakalaking ano na yan, pag nanakaw sa kawan ng sambayanan, yung West Philippines Sea. Talagang pagliliyabin nila yung issue dyan pagka hindi na-impeach si BP Sara. Yan ang sinasabi ko sa inyo mga kababayan. Pagliliyabin nila yan para maisagawa nila yung kanilang mga pinaplano. Mga bangag nga. Wala naman silang pakialam.
And the 2016 Arbitral Award. I convey the hope that as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Arbitral Award, Canada will continue to be one of the leading voices in upholding the award as an unassailable part of the corpus of international law. I committed to work with the Prime Minister in standing against economic coercion, increasing our bilateral trade, and building resilient supply chains. On this last point, I thank Prime Minister Carney for the decision to participate in the Luzon Economic Corridor with an initial investment pledge of 2 million Canadian dollars to support infrastructure, the supply chain, and clean energy projects within the LEC. I witnessed with Prime Minister Carney the signing of the Joint Declaration of Intent on Energy and Natural Resources Cooperation. This underscores the importance of energy security, economic security, sustainable economic growth, and resilient supply chains in supporting economic prosperity and the global energy transition. I also met with top officials of Canada's key economic players. Some of them have been actively engaged already in the Philippines, and they employ thousands of workers. However, we still look forward to the eventual entry of more Canadian companies into the Philippines investment landscape. During the high-level roundtable meetings with leading Canadian companies and industry leaders, I underscored the Philippines' commitment to fostering a competitive, sustainable, and innovation-driven economy. The discussions focused on strengthening cooperation in mining, critical minerals, energy, the IT BPM sector, key industries that will support the country's industrial transformation, digital economy, and long-term economic resilience. Conversations with the IT BPM companies also focused on global artificial intelligence hubs and learning centers that will serve as centralized AI-driven facilities to upskill these companies' global workforce. Amidst the complex geopolitical uncertainties that continue to shape our global strategic partnerships, pursuing a deliberate strategy for trade diversification has become an economic imperative, especially with like-minded parties such as Canada. I highlighted the Philippines' strategic role as a trusted investment destination and reliable partner for Canadian businesses seeking to diversify operations and expand in the Indo-Pacific region. I also met with the B2 Gold Corporation, Oceana Gold Corporation, TELUS Corporation, and NQX to discuss their investment plans in our country. All these business engagements in the sectors of mining, critical minerals, energy, services, and IT BPM resulted in a combined $2.5 billion in investment from Canadian partners. Thus, it is already timely that we presently are negotiating a free trade agreement with Canada, which we hope will further strengthen our economic cooperation once it enters into force. I am pleased with the deepening of our defense and security ties through our existing landmark agreements on defense and military cooperation, such as the Status of Visiting Forces Agreement and the Mutual Logistics Support Arrangement. These mechanisms translate our commitment to maintain a peaceful and stable region into practical and tangible actions. My delegation also met with our Canadian counterparts as we pursue new collaborations in certain niche areas, such as mining, critical minerals, nuclear energy, and in space. During my visit, we were also able to sign agreements that will harness the strength of our diaspora as the anchor of our bilateral relations, such as in culture and in the arts, tourism, labor, and migration. My last activity, last night, was a meeting with over 500 members of the Filipino community who came to Vancouver from different parts of Canada. And Canada is a very large country, and some of them came a very long way. I was heartened by their presence and the positive remarks of the Canadian government officials and ordinary Canadian citizens about the Philippines diaspora and how they are very glad and very happy to have the Filipinos that are here in Canada. Filipinos in Canada are widely respected and regarded as a steady and positive force in Canada's society. I conveyed to the Philippine community the Philippine government's continued support for overseas Filipinos and our appreciation for their continued hard work and dedication to their families and loved ones in the Philippines. Tunay na naging matagumpay ang ating biyahe kung saan napagsaayunan natin ang ilang mga inisyatibo sa hanay ng gobyerno at ng pribadong sektor. Hard work, though, does not end here. Patuloy tayong magsisikap upang ang ating nakamit at nasimulan sa Canada ay yayabong at madarama ng mas nakakaraming Pilipino. Maraming salamat. Thank you. Good morning.
Tanongan na. Daming kaartihan. Akala mo naman talagang nag-enjoy yung mga pinuntahan niya dyan. Yung mga leader ng Canada, alam naman na adik ka, kapatid mo nga mismo nagsasabi. Siguro, sa tingin ko ha, medyo maglalaylo na yan sa paglabas ng Pilipinas. Pagkatapos nung nakita niyang pagtanggap ng mga Pilipino sa kanya dyan sa Canada, maglalaylo yan. Kasi kahit saan ba siyang pumunta yan, sigurado ho tayo sasalubungin ho yan sa damukal na Credis protesta. Adik
Maraming salamat
Sabi ni Amy.
po, Mr. President.
Good.
The first question po from Raquel Bayan of Radio Pilipinas.
Good morning po, Mr.
Good morning.
President. Sir,
Nagbasa lang hiningal. Okay ka lang. Nagbasa ka pa lang yan ha.
in your joint statement last day and also yesterday in front of the Filipino community, you mentioned that you conveyed your hope that Canada would continue to address the barriers for the recognition of the credentials of the Philippine educated professional. May we know, sir, how was this received by the Prime Minister? Did he commit to anything with this regard?
The reason that we spoke about that is that there has been a change in the law here in Canada when it comes to the migration. To begin with, the quota for Filipino workers has been lessened, and but there are still areas of the new law that are unclear to us, and that's really what I ask. Of course, it would be highly improper for me to suggest any changes in another country's law. All we were asking is that to make very clear and very transparent exactly what the rules are, so that the Filipinos here who are already in Canada know their status. We just want to make sure they have been here. Some of the Filipinos I met during the trip have been here 15 years, have been here at least 5 years, 10 years. And that the status of those who are already living and working here remains the same. And then for the future also, to better understand the new regulations, the new laws, the new quotas, so that we in the Philippines are also able to adjust.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next question from Tristan Nodalo of Newswatch.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Sir, the West Philippine Sea and 2016 Arbitral Award were among the issues discussed during your meeting with Prime Minister Carney. Well, Canada has been one of the countries open.
Isang hininga ni Marcos Jr. nakaka-distract. Kung gusto mo ma-resolve yung West Philippine Sea, makipag-usap ka doon sa mga kagirian natin. Huwag silang magbomba ng tubig. Ano magagawa ng Canada? Ay, sa bagay, publicity stunt ng mga adik yan.
openly backing the arbitral ruling. But we mark, as the award marks its 10th anniversary, China continues to reject it, calling it null and void. But sabi po ng ilang mga observers, the Philippines missed a lot of opportunities during the previous administration in enforcing the award. So sa panahon nyo raw po, we are making up for lost time and under your watch. How concerned are you that a future administration...
Ito nakasalamin na to. Tanongin kita. Kakatabi niya si Auntie Claire. Kuyang, pakikumusta mo na lang ako sa lagay ni Auntie Claire. Pakikumusta mo na lang ako. Tanongin kita. Nakalimutan ko tuloy yung tanong ko. Na-distract lang naman ako kay Auntie Claire. Si Auntie Claire kasi. Di ba? Sige, tuloy mo na muna yan.
could take a different approach and weaken the gains your government has made in terms of enforcing the arbitral award?
Well, of course, it's a very important issue for the Philippines. So if you're asking me if I'm worried that the policy of the Philippines will
Enforce mo. Puta ka sa West Philippines.
change after I leave office, of course I am. Because it's almost, not quite, but it's almost an existential issue for us. Because maybe not existential for ordinary Filipinos, but for the state of the Philippines, of the Philippine Republic. We really have to be consistent in that. And I think the rightness in our positioning, in terms of the way we position the Philippines in our foreign policy vis-a-vis the arbitral award, is validated by countries like Canada who support it and see it as simply a enforcement of international law and the defense of our territorial integrity and the exercise of our sovereign rights within our sovereign territory. So it is a very enormous, there are no issues before any president that are greater than that. Some are equally important, but that is as important as anything else that we are having to deal with. Okay?
Thank you po. The next question from Bea of Rappler. Bea.
Yes, hello. Good morning, Mr. President. During your press conference with the Prime Minister, you spoke of the importance of keeping communication between partners very active, again, given disruption to the world order, to keep stability, even as we expand and deepen our relationships with countries like Canada. So, but I wonder, how do you make sense of Beijing's decision to impose sanctions on Secretary Chodoro, even as you are seeking to reset ties with China? And on a broader note, how would you describe the Philippine-U.S. relationship right now?
Okay. Well, the declaration of Beijing as Secretary Chodoro as a persona non grata, I guess, in China, it's just not, it's very unhelpful, in my view. Because it really achieves very little. It's more...
Nakakaano ka naman, Brad. Anak ng tokwa. Prerogative nila yung kahit ikaw gusto ka nilang i-persona ng grata, wala kayong pakialam doon. Kasi nga aso ng Amerika yang si Teodoro. Ngayon kung nakikita ng bansa China na ang mamana yan imbis na makabuti diyan sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea lalong pinapalala, talagang dapat dapat nga ikaw persona ng grata sa buong mundo kasi sa kahit saang bundok saang bansa ka man magpunta nakakatakot di ba? Makahiraman mo pa ng pera yung makausap mo dyan, mahirap na. Kami singilin Problema kasi dito, pagka nang hiram ng pera tong mama na to, tayo magbabayad. Kaya lagi kong paalala sa mga bansang pupuntahan nitong mama na to, huwag niyong pahiraman ng pera, please lang. Pakainin nyo na ng masarap, pasinghutin nyo na ng mga pulburon-pulburon, huwag nyo lang pahiramin ng pera.
Or how do you say, a response to some of the things some of the pronouncements that he's made in foreign fora. But it does not move the discussion between the Philippines and China regarding the conflicts that we have, territorial conflicts that we have.
Hindi nga kasi magmumove. Kahit na ano mangyari, persona ng grata siya, hindi siya persona ng grata, hindi magmumove. Diba? Kasi paano magmumove? Interest ng Amerika ang ating itinutulak dyan sa West Philippines, hindi naman interest ng Pilipino. Kumbaga, ginagamit lang natin yung issue ng West Philippines ginagamit ng Amerika yon para maitulak nila yung interest nila dyan. Kasi kung interest natin ang itutulak natin dyan, wala tayong ibang kinakausap. Yung mga kagirian lang natin. Punta tayo dito, punta tayo doon. O halimbawa, nakabantayan China dyan sa ginawa mong pagpunta na yan sa Canada. Anak ng tokwa tayo. Kaming dalawa may problema. Naghahanap ng kung sino-sino. Dinadaldal yung problema namin sa kapitbahay. Komprontahin mo. Mag-usap kayo. Hindi yung komprontahin na meron kang gun sa likod Ibang usapan nyo. Wala talaga mangyayaring matino doon. Sinda ka ng gusto mong mangyari. Hindi komprontahan.
Does not move that process forward in any way. It does not make it easier. It does not lessen the risk of a mistake that will, or some kind of skirmish that could grow into something more, or even in moving forward trying to resolve this issue. So it's just not helpful. And I guess, of course, it's China's prerogative to do whatever it is they please, but in the larger scheme of things,
Ano bang gagawin sa China ni Chudoro? Diba? Ano bang gagawin niyo doon? Bira. Galit nga siya sa China tapos dapat nga pasalamat siya salamat pinersona ng grata ko kasi di naman ako pupunta dyan. Ba't galit na?
in my view,
Wala na.
Race-
Wala na. Nagkabuhol-buhol na naman yung utak niya.
raises the level of tension rather than lessens it, which is always what we want. And that's why
Gusto mo malesin ng tension. O, punta ka sa Canada. Gusto mo malesin. O, punta ka sa Amerika. Gusto mo palang malesin eh. Di ba? Gusto mong malesin. O, kaliwat ka ng balikatan exercises. Gusto mong malesin. O, panibagong EDCA site. Palakpakan ho natin ang ating adik na presidente. Pambihira. Gusto daw ho niyang malesin ng tensyon. Kaliwat kanan yung pagdagdag ng mga base militar ng Amerika sa Pilipinas. Kaliwat kanan ang military exercise ng Australia, Amerika, Japan, sa ating bansa. Pero gusto niyang malesin ng tensyon. Palakpakan ho natin. Adik eh. Ano? Hindi, doon lang tayo sa realidad. Kasi kung, sino ba naman tayo? Maangas tayo sa loob ng Pilipinas. Pero pag labas natin bansa, wala tayo. Ikukumpara tayo sa China. Alikabok lang tayo. Yun lang realidad. Hindi gagana yung mga tikbalang, yung mga kapre, yung mga duwende, yung mga mambabarang, mga kukulam. Hindi gagana sa mga China yan. Kala natin, taas-taas na ang pagtingin natin sa mga sarili natin. Sa buong mundo, pinagtatawanan ho tayo dahil meron tayong adik na presidente base sa kanyang kapatid.
we continue to have open lines of communications with Beijing, and we continue to look for as many lines of communications that we can have, both in for government to government, on the commercial level, on the purely personal level. Everything is that we can is
Tita Riela, anong communication, binubola mo na naman kami. Ang pinaka-best communication ng Pilipinas sa China issue. Si Tita Riela, di ba? Gagawa ka ng caricature. Gagawa mo ng caricature yung presidente ng gusto nyo magkaroon ng Malaysian ng tension. Si Raulo ka ba? Yan ang panluloko, yan ang level ng panluloko na ginagawa ng mama na to sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Wala akong ginakampiyan dito. Doon lang tayo sa tama. O halimbawa, doon tayo sa gumit na tayo dito sa usapin na to. O lumamang tayo sa Pilipinas. Yung China ba ginawan ka ng caricature? O pagka ginawan ka na, sabihin mo kay Carriera, tuloy-tuloy yung mga kabubuyan niya na ginagawa na yan para malesin ang tension.
is being explored, and cutting off another line of communication, which is through our defense ministries. I do not see how it will help that process that we trying to achieve to manage the tensions in the West Philippine Sea, to lessen the likelihood of something happening that will be a trigger for something worse. It is, again, as I said, it's China's prerogative, but I really feel that it was unhelpful. On our relations with the United States, well, those really have not changed status since I came into office. We just keep growing.
Hindi. Nung pumasok ka sa pwesto, lahat ng gusto ng Amerika, binigay mo kasi merong hawak sa iyo ang Amerika. Huwag tayo yan ang problema sa iyo, Marcos, yung ginagago mo kami. Alam mo, yung tipong, ano sabi ng Amerika, bagong EDCA site, anong ginawa mo? Bagong EDCA site. Yung Indonesia, Pilipinas, pinatawan ng ganitong taripa. Nagpunta ka pa sa Amerika, ninegotiate mo, ilan yung binawasan? 1%. Yung Indonesia, hindi nagpunta doon, nabawasan din nila ng 1% yung kanila. Ginagago tayo. Ito, sobrang gago. Sobra ho. Ang ginagawa niya sa sambayan ng Pilipino.
Stronger.
Wala daw ginagawang pagbabago. Wala daw nabago. Raul.
together. We keep supporting each other, and
Support lang ang support.
we have been strong partners for over 100 years, and in that time, our engagements with the United States have become deeper, have become more expansive. And now, with the new sectors that are being created by the new technologies, we have new areas even to explore. So, patuloy lang. It is as strong and it is as active as it has ever been, if not more so than before.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next question from Ivan Mayrina.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago, during your fourth State of the Nation address, you called out corruption and said, mahiya naman kayo before the members of Congress. That set expectations from you and your administration that you will wage war against corruption and no one will be spared. 1 year hence, Mr. President, do you think your administration has done enough and fast enough?
Well, I cannot say that we have done enough because we're not done yet.
ICI pa more.
Unfortunately, the more we look, the more we find.
Si Raul ito. The more we look, the more we find. The more we look, the more we find. Ba't walang nakukulong?
And it is going already back beyond my administration, beyond my term. If you remember, I think it was in 2018,
18 yan.
already the minority floor leader in the House,
Aray,
Nonoy Andaya,
Oh.
already says that he had uncovered
Huwag lang, kalma. Kalmahan mo lang kami. Brad, yung 1 trillion na nawawala sa administrasyon mo, yun ang pag-usapan natin. Kanino nanggagaling yung sinasabi ni Auntie Claire, hindi yung sa kanya. Nanggagaling sa presidente nating adik, sabi ng kapatid niya.
uncovered a 300 plus billion flood control mess. And so when we look at what happened last year or the year before, then we can see that the pattern extends beyond 2022, back beyond 2022, and back to about that time, 2017,
Duterte administration nga. 2017 o 2018 o imbestigahan 2017 2018. Yung trilyon na ninakaw, yung ginto, yung kinuwang pera sa PhilHealth na pinanggawa ng daan para meron daanan yung mga ambulansya, wag natin pag-usapan. Yung 1 trillion na nawawala sa administrasyon niya, wag natin pag-usapan. Di ba? Panahon ni Digong, kung doon tayo magpunta.
2018.
Kapal na mukha ito,
And at
mama
the
na to.
time, President Duterte acknowledged that there were great problems in terms of the flood control.
Merong issue. Di natin sinasabing immaculate si Tatay Digong pagdating sa korupsyon. Pero hindi yung pipirmahan niya yung budget, maya-maya magkakandawalaan yung pera. Buisit na yan.
Flood control
Si Tatay Digong, pag may problema ang budget, binibito niya. Hindi niya pinapayagang umalagwa.
projects.
Raulo.
Pero wala namang nangyari. Having acknowledged it,
So ngayon walang mangyayari.
he did not find accountability in anybody. So I guess that was left up to me to do. And so we are still doing it. We're still working on it. As I said, the more we look, the more we investigate, the more we find. And this is
Wala.
I
Ginagago
think
sa bayan ng Pilipino
you're
tumama na to.
all experienced journalists. You know this is a deep-seated system of corruption that requires
Paakyat hanggang Malacanang.
not only structural changes in the way government is run, in the way that the budget is written, but also a change in attitude. Kasi ang sinabi ko, mahiya naman kayo. Pag tinanong mo sa akin, nahiya ba sila? Yung iba, hindi.
Ba't yung pakulong?
Akala nila, karapatan nila yung gagawin na ganun eh. Wala kaming ginagawang mali. Ganyan talaga patakbo rito.
Eh di pakulong mo.
And that's the hardest part to change. That's the hardest part to change. The culture of within government, where
Nasaan na yung alalay mo? Yung alalay mo na diniliberan di umano ng pera ni Zaldico? Nasaan na yun? Anong culture? Ikaw nga di umano umiiyak ka daw dahil wala pa daw na si presidente. 'Di ba? Sinusubukang bawasan ng 100 million yung budget mo. Ano sabi mo daw? Di umano. Hindi pwedeng galawin 'yan. Budget ng opisina mo. Pambira ng culture. Wala. Sorry to say, wala akong mapapanagot sa mga maanumalyang flood control project, ghost project dito sa administrasyon na to. Ibinato na ho niya kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Lahat ng nakawan nangyari sa kanyang administrasyon, kasalanan pa rin ho ni Duterte. Nakakalungkot ho.
To take I mean, they put all kinds of nice words, rebate, kung ano. Kickback yan. Wala nang ibang sa tunay na salita. Kickback yan. Okay daw yun. Para sa iba, okay sa kanila yun. At saka karapatan nila bilang whatever.
Pakulong
na
mo!
meron silang share doon sa
Pakulong mo!
ganagastos ng pera ng gobyerno.
One follow-up, please.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do moving forward, Mr. President, now that corruption has become the favorite talking point among your critics and those who are calling for your ouster?
My answer?
My ouster.
My ouster?
Yes. Binabalik po nila sa inyo ito.
From critics.
Yeah.
Tawa na naman. Tawa. Tawang bangag. Tawang adik.
Kung hindi ko sinabi yung sinabi ko sa SONA, wala tayong pinag-uusapan na ganito.
Naku, yan ang problema. Hindi lang yung accomplishment nitong si Ayala yung ninanakaw niya, pati yung pag-iimbestiga. Anak ng toko, November pa lang, 2024. Sabi ni Tatay Digong, blang, may problema ang budget. Blang. Baykam, Blanco. Anong ginawa kay Tatay Digong pagdating ng 2025? Kinidnap, dinala sa dahig. Anong ikaw nag-sound ng alarm? Si Raulo ka ba? Hindi ka lang si Raulo, sinungaling ka pa.
I'm the one who exposed all of this. And I'm the only one that has started.
Harapang panluloko ho ito mga kababayan mula kay Ungab. 'Di ba? 2024 nagsona ka, ano sabi mo? 5,500 flood control project. Kinabukasan bumagyo. Hinawanap sa'yo na sambay ng Pilipino. Nag-umpisa ng mag-imbestiga ang ating mga kababayan. Huwag mo kami gagawin. Wag, hindi pwede. Sa bagay, kung adik ka na nga naman, paniniwalaan mo sarili mo, pero hindi mo maluloko sambay ng Pilipino. Hindi matagal na panahon yung 2024 para makalimutan namin noong ibinida mo yung 5,500 flood control, Brad. Next week, babaha. Hinanap na sambay ng Pilipino sa'yo. Sa mga susunod na araw, investigasyon na. Sinilip na ng ating mga kababayan yung mga flood control. Hindi ikaw ang nagbulgar. Huwag mong akuhin yung, sa bagay, yan pala talaga hiling mo pag nanakaw. Pati credit, nakaw. Pamilyang
To do anything about this. Bakit ang mga nakaramba na Pangulo, may nakita ba kayong ginawang ganon? Meron ba silang kinulong? Meron ba silang finish na account? Meron ba silang
Meron.
investigasyon na ginawa? Wala.
Meron.
Sa akin lang. Tapos sasabihin, ako daw ang may kagagawan.
O sino pa ba? Pati nga yung dati mong finance secretary, si Jokno, sinabi niya. Di ba? Ikaw ang pumipirma ng budget, Brad. Huwag mo kaming Ikaw ang pumipirma ng budget. O sino may kasalanan kung hindi ka kasali? Martin Romualdez? O, di ba babalik din tayo sa era mo?
Kung talagang racket ko yun, ba't ko sisirain yung racket ko?
Kasi nabisto ka. Yun ang dahilan. Nabisto ka, Brad.
Diba? That makes absolutely no sense. So,
Wala na eh. Ano ba lusot mo? Nagkabistuhan na. Anong absolutely no sense? Nagkabistuhan na, nagkabukuhan na. Nalaman na nasambayan ng Pilipino yung kabalbalan mo. Panep Blanco, yung pera dinideliver mali-maleta, galing pa mismo sa appropriation chairperson niya. Sa bagay, kung yung sinasabi mo na yung pinapaniwalaan mo, good for you. Pero siyempre ng Pilipino, hindi na naniniwala sa'yo dahil nuknukan ka ng kasinungaling. Na-trigger si Boy.
Does selective justice
I'm sorry?
Selective justice.
What about selective justice?
Pinipili lang daw yung mga kinakasuhan, yung mga iniimbestigahan.
No, from the time that we formed the independent commission, sinabi ko, we'll just follow the evidence. And we'll continue to do that.
O paakit tayo sa Malacanang, paano yan? Sinabi nga ni Zaldico, di ba, appropriation chairperson? Jojo Cadiz. Asa na si Jojo Cadiz? Asa na si Abena Pangandaman? Asa na si Treji Bolivar? Adrian Bersamin, nasa na? Follow the evidence. Habang kinikidnap si Tatay Digong, meron nakaparadang armor van sa Diamond Hotel basement. Naglalaman ng pera. Hindi pa kinukuha dahil mainit na sitwasyon.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next question from Kathy Valiente of Manila Times.
Good
Sinungaling.
morning, Mr. President. Mr. President, the Senate Impeachment Court will begin po the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara. As a former senator judge, do you think po the accused should attend the trial?
Do I?
Do you think po dapat mag-attend po yung accused sa impeachment trial po? As a former po senator judge.
Pakinggan natin.
Well, my only experience with an impeachment trial was when I was senator with Corona, the Corona impeachment trial. And it's really up to the accused whether or not they feel the need to appear. I guess the lawyers from on the defense side will give their advice. It's not for me to say one way or the other. But of course, it would be much easier to get to the bottom of everything if you can speak to the accused directly.
See, yung script ni Luis Tro, De Lima at lahat ng nagustong magpaating kay VP Sara galing sa Malacanang.
And the accused can answer directly, not through secondary channels.
Dapat wag na siyang kumuha ng abogado, siya na lang pala nag-abogado sa sarili niya. 'Di ba? Wag na siyang kumuha ng defense team niya kung palang mas madali na mas makasagot siya na dapat siya lang mag-isa. Hindi. Kaya kami abogado siya eh. Mula ngayon pagka kinasuhan kayo, mas maigi pa lang sumagot ng sa korte, kayo na lang mag-isa. Direkta kayong tatanungin ng kalaban niyo, 'di ba? Oh, yun ng dalawang bangag.
The lawyers, kung diretsong makapagsagot, di siyempre mas magiging maliwanag ang proseso, mas magiging madali ang proseso. But that's just my own opinion, and that's
Hindi, yun ang opinion mo na naratibo ng Malacanang, di ba? Pati yung mga sa prosecution panel na iisa ang sinasabi nyo. Pero prerogative yun ni VP Sara kung gusto niyang umaten o hindi. Pero dahil nga pagpapahiya at pagpapababa sa trust at approval rating ni VP Sara ang talagang target diyan sa impeachment na yan, yan ang inyong galawan diyan. Okay, walang problema yan. May ika nga kahit ano pang angas mo, darating ang panahon. Anak ng tokwa, ikaw yung kakalaboso nila, Brad.
not a legal opinion because I'm not a lawyer.
Yung problema.
But I'm just trying to put myself in that position. So I would probably myself, if it was me being accused, I would almost insist over the advice of lawyers. If they advise me not to appear, I would insist on appearing because kaya ko namang sagutin. Di ko, sige.
Si Raul, ka kung ganon. Sinabi na nga ng abogado mo, wag mo sasabihin niya, sasabihin mo pa. Dick. Di ba, kumuha ka ng abogado. Ganito logic, kumuha ka ng abogado o abogado ko, attorney. Okay, ano ba yung edge natin sa ating kaso? O basta dito, wag ka munang lumitaw ha. Hindi, lilitaw ako. Magaling ka pa pala sa akin. Ikaw na lang mag-abogado. Raul ito.
Sagutin natin.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Raulo si Marcos Jr. Ba't ka pa kukuha ng abogado kung tanungin mo abogado mo, in-advise ka na as per your lawyer na wag kang dumalo, wag kang umatin. Kaya namin yan. Kaya nga mo kami hinire. Wag na kami na. Wag i-insist ka pa. Ako na. Sasabihin sa'yo ng abogado mo. Law firm namin na nakataya dito. Ha? Law firm namin. Wag kang bida-bida. Ngayon, Kung gusto mo, ikaw sumagot, aalis na kami, magre-resign na kami bilang abogado mo. Dahil matatalo tayo. Halimbawa, sinabihan ka ng ganon, mag-i-insist ka pa. O siguro kung adik kang kagaya ni Marcos Jr., sabi ng kapatid niya si Amy, ganon ang gagawin mo.
That we're down to the last two questions, Mr. President.
Wala na. Wala kaadikan ng mga pinag-uusapan natin dito. Daig pa natin yung usapang lasing yung ginagawa natin no? So guys, maraming salamat to sa pag-support sa PH Update. Mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Mahal natin ang Pilipinas, pambira. Sinabi ng council mo, wag. Yung tipong sinabi na, ano yan, wag mo sasagutin yan. Kami bahala dyan. Pag-i-insist ka pa talaga. Pambira, yan ang gagawin ko pagka kay Marcos Jr. Pagka ikukulong na siya, linilitis na siya. Gusto ko wag ka kumuha ng abogado, walang niya ka. At kung sakaling kung ano man na suggestion ng abogado mo sa'yo, wag ka magsalita ka. Mahuli talaga. Salamat po mga kababayan, mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Alam natin Pilipinas. Adik.